magic school bus?
Is this the magic school bus?
Magic school bus?
Magic the magic school bus? You mean magic school bus? Magic school bus? Magic school bus? Magic school bus?
I want the magic school bus! I want the magic school bus!
Thanks, Liz. Magic School Bus, producer speaking. What's the buzz?
I just saw your show on bees, and what I want to know is, could honeybees really gather enough nectar in one day to make enough honey to get them through the whole winter?
We stretch the truth here, but given enough nectar-rich flowers, a strong hive can make enough honey for the winter in a week or two.
And what do beekeepers like Tim's grandpa do? I thought honey came from the wild.
Actually, almost all of the honey we buy in the store comes from bee farms, and beekeepers are the people who harvest the honey. Man-made hives are much bigger and have a lot more bees than wild hives, so they make and store a lot more honey than wild bees do. And as long as the hive makes more honey than it needs, the beekeeper can sell the extra honey without hurting the hive.
Ugh, I don't feel so bad then, because I love a little honey on my toast for breakfast.
Just so you know, it would take one bee about 100 trips from the flowers to the hive to make enough honey for just one piece of toast.
That's amazing.
But with 10,000 bees working together, it goes pretty fast.
That makes sense. But I have to admit, I found that dancing stuff pretty unbelievable. Do bees really dance to tell each other where to find nectar?
Unbelievable, but true. Actually, bees communicate even more information than we showed, and we still don't know everything they can tell each other with their dances.
Just one more thing. I've never heard so many bad bee jokes before.
Thank you very much.
Want to hear another?
Sure. Why not?
What do you get when you cross a seagull with a bee?
What?
A beagle.
Hey, thanks for calling the Magic School Bus. Magic School Bus, producer speaking.
Yeah, I was just watching that Arctic show, and I was wondering where I can pick up a pair of those hot-looking heat peepers.
Well, actually, you can't. They don't really exist.
I just wanted to hear you admit it.
But there are goggles that let you see what's hot and cold.
I know. Infrared goggles, right?
Right. They let you see how heat moves, although heat peepers are cooler.
You know, we didn't have to go all the way to the Arctic to learn that some things let heat pass through them and others stop it from escaping.
You're talking about the inspiration of insulation.
Exactamundo. Like what they put in walls or sleeping bags.
It's the little tiny air pockets in insulation that block the heat and keep it from moving outside. Liz, keep that closed.
I also know that people don't get blubberized to stay warm in cold water. They use wetsuits.
Which contain millions of tiny air pockets that trap your body heat and keep you warm in the water.
So why didn't you just give the kids wetsuits?
And miss the chance of blubberizing them? No way!
All right. I admit it was fun to see them slime with fat. But tell me this. Instead of having Arnold make a cocoa cozy, why didn't he just go out and buy a thermos?
If we did that, you wouldn't get to call up and bug us about it. Now, you probably already know this, but a thermos is a bottle with a special hollow outside wall that blocks the flow of heat.
One other thing. Taking a lizard to the Arctic would be really foolish. I mean, any reptile would have gone torpid and frozen to death faster than you can say permanent hibernation.
We thought about that, but then our Liz is a special kind of lizard. Uh-oh, gotta go. Okay, Liz, I know it wasn't your favorite field trip, but is it just me or is that...
The blubberizer.
No, Liz, not the audience! Sorry.
Magic School Bus, producer speaking.
Are those giant bugs in the movies real?
Actually, the bugs are real. They just aren't giants. Movie magic just makes them look big by putting a regular-sized bug into a tiny toy town and shooting close in. Any more questions?
I've got some.
You.
My agent told me this show was supposed to be about spiders. All spiders. But you just showed 3.
We focused on the orb, trapdoor, and Dinopus spiders because the kinds of traps they make were important to the story.
Understood. But there are more than 100,000 different kinds of spiders and hundreds of ways they hunt and trap. In fact, although most spiders make silk, only some of them spin webs.
We know that, and we showed as much as we could while still giving you as much screen time as possible.
Then what about the ending?
What about it? We wanted to show that spiders are skilled at trapping insects.
Yes, but you stopped one step short. Spiders prey on other insects. You know what that means? That means they eat them!
Well, of course, spiders have to eat too, you know.
I know, and they're pest control specialists. They keep flies and gnats from becoming a problem. I even heard of one spider who lures bugs with a sweet perfume, then lassos them like a cowboy. But spinning a web can take hours. You had it happening in minutes.
Well, we could have taken more time on the webs, but that would have meant cutting back your role.
Cutting back my rope? I think you made the right decision. In fact, the show was great. My wife and kids are big fans. That time you went inside Ralphie, we still talk about it. Keep up the good work. Ciao.
Forget the web, Liz. You need to work on your timing. Hit the speakerphone, will you, Liz? Magic School Bus, the producer on the line, what's on your mind?
You know your show about structures?
Know it. I'm building my own suspension bridge right now just to make sure it works.
Are you trying to tell us that if hairpins and gumdrops were big enough, you could really build a bridge strong enough to actually walk across?
Absolutely. The trick is to choose material strong enough to hold the weight of the bridge, plus whatever it carries, like a lizard, for example.
But don't people usually use nuts and bolts rather than gumdrops?
Sure, because they're stronger, but sometimes you have to use what you have. Improvise and surprise, I always say.
Structures just don't stand there, you know. They need to stand up against all kinds of things that push it and pull it, like really big winds and hurricanes. And earthquakes, too.
You're right about that, but a good structure has a solid foundation. Houses have concrete footings. Tall buildings use steel pilings, and bridges use heavy piers to carry the weight of the structure into the ground so it can stand.
I must admit, the bridge in the show was pretty clever. Who really designed it?
Most bridges are designed by architects and engineers. The architect designs it, and the engineer makes sure it's strong enough to stand. In our case, kids just like you were the architects, engineers, and builders.
And they did a terrific job. Let's hear it for Kid Power!
Listen, I have to test my own bridge right now. Any other questions?
No, that's it. Bye.
Bye, and thanks for calling. Okay, Liz, come on across. Hey, way to go, Liz! Not a bad bridge, huh? Great design, lightweight materials, and strong enough to support a lizard. Well, Liz, we should get some glowing reviews for that show. Magic School Bus here, producer speaking.
Hi, I just saw your show on Light, and I have a few comments.
It was dazzling, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I've never seen a streak of light travel from place to place, the way we saw the kids move when they were light.
You're right. Light moves so fast that you can't tell it takes any time at all to move from place to place. So we slowed the kids way down when they became light so we could watch what it does when it moves.
That makes sense. Bye.
Bye. Well, that wasn't too bad, Liz. Liz? Liz, what are you doing? Hello, Magic School Bus.
Where did Janet get that great trick she did with light?
Ah, it's an old magician's trick called Pepper's Ghost. You can do it yourself, you know.
I can? How?
First, you take a cardboard box and paint the inside black. Then you make a medium-sized window in one side of the box so you can see in. Then you make a window out of plastic or stretch some plastic wrap across a cardboard window frame so it can fit in the box on a slant. Take your ghost object, put it on the floor of the box, then close up the box. Now, make another hole in the box so a light from a flashlight can shine on your ghost object without lighting up the back of the box. Turn the light on. You'll see a reflection of your object in the plastic, making a ghost appear in the back of the box. Turn the light off, and your handsome ghost disappears because there's no light for the reflection. But remember, the better looking the ghost, the better the trick.
Then I think I'll make my ghost look like Liz.
You do that. Magic School Bus, producer here.
Hi, I just saw your show on archaeology, and I gotta tell you, the kids were pretty clueless about the rolling hoop. I guessed it right away.
You did? Well, you must be smart. We thought the hoop thingy was pretty clever, but I suppose you can't fool everybody.
That's true. But tell me something. Are all archaeologists great adventurers like Arizona Joan?
Archaeologists go to a lot of exciting places, but once they get there, they have lots of work to do. Digging just one artifact out of the ground can take days or even weeks. That's because they have to be very careful to label every little thing so they know exactly which part of the dig it came from.
Too bad real archaeologists can't have something like that suppositron.
Well, actually, archaeologists think the way the suppositron works. They can look at the area where the artifact was found and suppose what people had to do to live there. Or they might find a painting or sculpture or writings that show how the people who lived there looked or worked. They use all sorts of clues to form a picture of how old something is or how it was used and why.
I think finding artifacts and learning about how people lived long ago is really cool. Can I do some digging too?
Better not. Until you're an archaeologist. When people just dig something up, all the information about where things were found and what they were found with is lost forever. So if you do find something that may be old, stop. Don't dig. Find an archaeologist and tell her. That way we'll all learn more about the past.
Thanks for the tip. By the way, I dig your show. See ya.
Cute kid. You know, I love what I do. Hey, Liz, you find anything? Well, what do you know, Liz? That's amazing.
Hey, that's mine! My brother buried it as a joke. Thanks for finding it. Vroom!
Hey, Magic School Bus, producer speaking.
Hey, I loved your show on color, but there's no way you can have a light pinball machine like the one you showed. Light travels way too fast.
Okay, so we fudged it a little. But if we didn't slow down the light, you wouldn't be able to see it move.
But I'm still not sure about that bit with Carlos putting the colored candy wrapper over his flashlight. Does that really work?
Of course it works. Transparent things like candy wrappers and theater gels act just like gates. They let their own color of light through and block off all the other colors.
Wow, that's really cool. I'm gonna try that myself. Bye.
Hey, thanks for calling. Magic School Bus, your iridescent leader here.
Hi. With all that talk about light and color, you never did answer Keisha's question about how the prism makes a rainbow of light.
Ah, you're right. I'll go to super slow-mo and show you just how it works. When light travels through glass, it slows down just a little bit. Not this slow, of course, but slow enough so that the colors of light bend. Some more than others, depending on their color. The bending action is what spreads the colors out and into a rainbow. Got it?
Now that's awesome. By the way, I've made a rainbow with my garden hose, but I thought I saw more colors in the rainbow. How come you only showed 6?
Right again. A rainbow contains all the colors from red to violet, but we just showed the 6 that most people see.
And you know, I bet you could make a pinball machine using light.
You think so?
Sure. Take a really powerful laser, laze a light beam up a chute, and bounce it into the targets. What do you think?
I think you're right. Thanks for calling. Liz, this is way cool. Oh, well, what is it? Where is it? Magic School Bus, the producer speaking. What can I do for you?
Well, I really like the show about salmon migrating, but after mulleting it over for a while, I have a few questions.
Fish sticks. I thought the show was really clear, but go ahead, ask away.
You made salmon seem like superheroes. They swim upriver against the current. They leap tall dams in a single bound.
Well, it's true. The urge to migrate is so strong, they'll do almost anything to get home.
But I'll bet lots of them get knocked off on the way, between seals and fishermen.
And bears and birds, and there are other hazards too, like pollution.
So it's a really dangerous, even deadly journey. More salmon die than live.
Yeah, but hey, don't be a downer. Every year, enough salmon reach their destination to get to the big payoff at the end.
Yeah, they have kids. But wait a minute. How come you made it seem like salmon migrate in a day? It takes about 6 months. They leave the ocean in the spring and get to the rivers where they were born in the fall.
You're right. We had to fudge the time just because it's TV.
And you fudged time again. You showed the salmon eggs hatch and grow into little salmon in just a few minutes. That usually takes 2 years.
You're right, another fudge. Liz.
Just one more thing. You're not really fishing, are you? I mean, not after producing that show.
Well, yeah, I am. After all, I'm just part of the food chain, too.
Well, I hope you don't catch anything, especially not a salmon.
Don't worry, I never catch anything. And I promise if I do, I'll throw it back. Bye.
You're right, Liz. If I want to win next year, I'll have to do more aerobics to keep my lungs, heart, muscles in tip-top shape.
Hello, Magic School Bus?
Oh, no. This is Mr. Sinew.
Okay, you'll do. So how does exercise get you in shape anyway?
Well, it helps your lung tissue stretch further so you can take in more air. And it strengthens all your muscles, including your heart. That's the most important muscle in your body, you know.
I guess I'd better get exercising.
Good idea. Bye. Now what?
So, I know that white stuff was oxygen, but what was that dark stuff?
The dark stuff was carbon dioxide that the muscles give off. The blood carries it back to the lungs where we breathe it out. Carbon dioxide is the second half of the breathing story, but we didn't have time to show it all.
Can you really see all that stuff the way you showed?
No, oxygen, carbon dioxide are invisible gases, and lactic acid is a colorless liquid. Red blood cells turn bright red when oxygen joins the cells, and they turn purple when oxygen leaves the cells. Oh,
Hey, are you okay?
never felt better. Thanks. Bye. Whew. Not rowing.
I'm with Janet. How could someone like Miss Frizzle beat a mountain of muscle like Mr. Sinew?
Having big muscles doesn't necessarily mean you're in good shape. What's important is teamwork. Your heart and lungs have to work together to deliver as much oxygen to the muscles as possible.
That's right. And blood carries food as well as oxygen, doesn't it?
That it does. Oh, bye. That's it, Liz. I've got to rest. Aren't you tired? You've got some kind of heart, lung, blood, and muscle team, Liz. And the same kind of shirts as me.
Magic School Bus.
Hi, we saw your show on plants, and we'd like to ask some questions.
Well, leaf no stone unturned. Ask away.
First of all, do plants really make their own food? Just out of water and air?
Water, air, and sun. The sun's real important. Plants use the sun's energy to make their own food. Hey,
Too bad scientists haven't figured out how people can use the sun's energy to make their own food.
yeah, we have to eat plants to get energy. Or eat animals that eat plants.
That's why plants are so important to us, huh?
That's right. They feed all the rest of us.
So let me get something straight. We know that plants don't use soil for food. What do they need soil for?
Soil provides other things like minerals the plant needs to grow. And it gives a plant a place for its roots to anchor it to the ground. Any more questions before this conversation goes to seed?
Yeah, how come the beanstalk grew so fast? We never see plants grow. They grow so slowly.
But it was a magic beanstalk, remember? In real life, most plants grow too slowly to see, just like you said. But on TV, magic beanstalks come in really handy.
Okay, thanks. It's been swell.
You got it. Liz? Oh, there you are, waiting all this time. You must be starved. Let's have lunch. Thanks, Liz. Now, give me all your sevens. Hey, come back here. I was winning. Hello, Magic School Bus. Producer speaking.
First, I want to know what happened to all those cocoa beans.
We're roasting them now.
Roasting them?
Yep. We're making our own chocolate, and roasting the beans is the first step. Anything else?
Yes. At the beginning of the show, you showed some squirrels in an oak tree, but you never talked about how they're connected.
Good point. The squirrel that buried the acorn was storing food, but squirrels don't dig up all the acorns they bury.
Oh, so they also plant seeds for new oak trees.
Exactly. I'm glad you brought that up.
It's not only the rainforest, which depends on the web of life. Everywhere, even in my backyard, there were relationships like that going on right now.
How right you are. Thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
Okay, Liz, how's the chocolate coming? Magic School Bus.
How about shedding some light on my midge problem?
And what midge problem might that be?
Well, if there were pools of water up in those bromeliad plants, and the midges needed a watery place to breed, why didn't they just breed into bromeliads?
Good question. In real life, there are usually more ways for things to happen, but we wanted to keep it simple.
Well, you sure kept it simple and silly when it came to Inspector 47.
How do you mean?
He was the lamest, most overdone, phony baloney official I've ever seen. I mean, he was straight out of a cartoon.
Could you hold on for a second? Hello?
I heard that comment.
Would you like to talk to the young man?
Absolutement. Are you calling me a cartoon?
Well, that's what you are. Who would run around the rainforest in a white suit, talking like Zeus?
I would, and I do. And however you look at it, you and I are connected by the web of life.
Yeah? Well, we won't be connected by telephone if I hang up.
I'm sorry, but it was not in my contract to be deluged. I do not do disaster movies.
I know, but we had to show how a flood can sculpt the landscape.
Well, next time, show it in someone else's scene.
Would you like some iced tea? Hello, Magic School Bus. Producer speaking.
You know, I didn't believe that part about the frozen water expanding so much it could break something as hard as a rock apart, so I tried it myself.
You did? What did you do?
First, my mom and I found a glass jar with a screw-on lid. Then we filled it completely full of water and screwed on the lid. Then we wrapped it in a heavy plastic bag and put it in the freezer overnight.
And what happened?
The next day, the jar was broken. The water inside it expanded as it froze and broke the jar, just like the ice broke apart the rock.
Well, that's a pretty sharp experiment. Thanks for passing it on.
My pleasure. Bye.
Liz, you need to freeze the water. It won't freeze in a cupboard.
I don't believe that water can really push big rocks and boulders around the way you showed.
Well, the water just has to move fast enough to roll and bounce the rocks, not lift them up. Go find a fast-moving stream. You'll be amazed at how big the rocks are that the floods pushed aside.
I'll do that. Bye.
Liz, it'll take more than a few pieces of ice to freeze that water.
Hi. I know floods and landslides happen quickly, but most erosion takes a long, long time, doesn't it?
You're right. The bigger the erosion, the longer it takes. For instance, it took water more than 15 million years to carve out the Grand Canyon. About as long as it's going to take you to freeze that water.
Water made the Grand Canyon?
You bet. It made it grand. What was that? Good thing you put it in a plastic bag. How'd you do that? I know, you didn't break the glass, water did. But how did you freeze the water so fast?
Have you finished sorting the paper you wanted me to recycle, Liz? Should I answer that? Hello? Magic School Bus?
Hello. I just saw your show on recycling, and I have a question.
I better write this down. Can I have some paper?
Hello? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There's a recycling plant near me, but new things aren't made in the same place like they were in Murph's plant.
You're right. Usually the trash has to go to 3 places before it becomes something new. First, it goes to the material recovery factory. Then it gets sorted and packed and sent off to the processing factories. There it gets broken down, washed, and melted. And then, once the basic materials are prepared at the processing factories, they get shipped to manufacturing plants where new things like toy soldiers are made.
That's really interesting. Thanks a lot.
Well, my pleasure. Bye. Oh, no, not another one. Liz, where's that paper? Hello, Magic School Bus.
You know, I had a hard time believing that they'd turn a school into a landfill.
Okay, so we exaggerated a little. But if we did get rid of recycling, people would need more landfill space to hold their trash.
You know, my grandma says that recycling is nothing new. Glass makers have recycled glass bottles for more than 3,000 years.
Your grandma's right. People have also recycled paper for hundreds of years by shredding it back into paper pulp to make new paper. The difference is that today's recycling is becoming a business and people are looking for new and better ways to recycle. 'Cause what goes around comes around again, remember?
Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. I better leave a note for the producer. So, Liz, where's that paper? Recycled and reused paper. That's great, Liz, but maybe I'll just leave the producer a message on voicemail.